Hi team, I hope you're all well. Today we are going to be doing another 24-hour timer challenge. I am yet again running late with this. My intention was to get up with Andy this morning. I woke up with a cracking headache at 5 o'clock this morning. So I took a couple of tablets, I went back to sleep and my aim was to wake up at 6:30. It's now 8:05 in the morning. So we're in a bit of a rush here now to actually get started. I do have quite the stack of books here that I'm interested in potentially getting to that fulfill the prompts for my F1 bingo board. We're just trying to complete that board this over the next 2 days. I will show a picture of said board. If you didn't know, I do have a Patreon. I don't tend to talk about it too much, to be honest. But we do monthly 24-hour readathons, and I always do a bingo board, and I basically set this up so that I do 2 sets of sprints. So I do one on the first day and one on the second day, and you guys can do this as a 24-hour readathon or a 48-hour readathon. There are no rules with this. You can do it from a certain time on one day to a certain time the next day. You can do it for a whole day. I do this as the 24-hour timer challenge with the aim of doing 12 hours one day and 12 hours the next. Doesn't always work out like it hasn't the last couple of times. I'm hoping to manage that today. Well, over today and tomorrow. Today's bank holiday Monday, by the way. I will catch up tomorrow. I will get up early tomorrow. But my goal is to try and complete this bingo board, and I'm looking forward to it. I am going to start off, I'm not going to run down with you everything that I've got in this pile. You can see everything that I've got here. It somehow, some way fits onto the board, and I'm going to start off with Wildfire by Hannah Grace. This is the longest audiobook on the TBR. I'm going to be using a lot of audiobooks because of this headache. I'm not feeling too great, I've got to be honest. But yeah, I'm going to start off with Wildfire by Hannah Grace. This does have a one-word title, so it's on for that prompt. And this is the Waterstone specific, I don't know, the special edition version of it. Very pretty indeed. And I really enjoyed Icebreaker, but I think I'm going to love this one. Teddy Hamilton is the narrator for the male character as well. When Russ and Aurora cross paths at university party drinking game ends with them spending the night together. The next day, Aurora slips away before Russ learns her full name. This anonymity ends when they both turn up to their first day of work as camp counsellors, a job they had both chosen to escape Maple Hills for the summer. Given their history, there's still an obvious tension between the two, but the camp has a strict no staff fraternising rule. Russ doesn't want to risk heading home early, but Aurora has never been one for the rules. As things heat up, they'll have to resist starting something they just can't stop. It sounds so good. I'm very excited. There is a playlist. Sign me up. Yeah, I'm looking forward to this one. So this is what I'm going to start the readathon off with. I may break it up this afternoon with a manga. The manga that I do have on here, I have a couple of options. I've got volume 2 and 3 of Dark Moon, because I would like to get back to this series. One of the prompts is for translated fiction. This does include manga. So I have 2 of those that I could get back to, or I also have The Summer Hikaru Died volume 1. One of the prompts is for an LGBTQ book, and apparently this one is queer. So I was saving this for Summerween actually, but I wouldn't mind reading this one so that maybe I can collect a couple of others for Summerween, because I feel like it would work in really well. This is like a horror romance mix, and it's queer as well. So yeah, I may break this up a little bit with a manga just to give me a quick sense of achievement, but that is what I'm going to do. So I need to go and get some breakfast, and I need to get started on the audiobook for this. I will do both of those things simultaneously. So let's go. Okay, hello. It is much later in the day. It's currently 25 to 3 and I have now finished Wildfire. This one did take me 4 hours and 23 minutes to do, but I am doing Patreon sprints, so I've been stopping and starting, and Gav has joined me now, so we've got quite yappy during that. But I have now finished this. I enjoyed this. I liked the setting of the camp once we got there. I really liked the introduction to both Rory and also Russ, and I really liked their introduction with the one night stand essentially that happened. Now, there was an element of miscommunication here. So these two meet at a party, they sleep together at the party, and he disappears into the bathroom and ends up having to try and have a conversation with himself. He's not quite too confident, self-confidence. He ends up having a conversation with himself about wanting to ask her out on a date. In the meantime, Aurora has assumed that he's gone in there and is taking his sweet time because he wants her to leave. So she's left. Now, a few days go by or a few weeks go by and they end up at the same camp together, summer camp together, where they're trying to earn a bit of cash for themselves. And when they eventually sit down and have a conversation about it, he suddenly realises what she thought was going on, and she suddenly realises what he was doing in the bathroom. She was like, I thought you were on the phone in the bathroom to somebody and you wanted me to leave. And he's like, no, I was trying to hype myself up to ask you out on a date. And she's like, oh my God, we are literally the miscommunication trope. What the fuck? So they have this really good adult conversation, and from that point on, there isn't really any more miscommunication at all. He is having issues with his father. She's having issues with her father, two separate different issues. She's quite open about her daddy issues. However, he keeps his quite close to the chest till further on in the book. But the communication between these two was fantastic and I really enjoyed that. I think, however, on that basis, although this one is a lot smaller than Icebreaker, I do think on the basis of the communication being so good between the two of them, that this could have been a bit shorter, actually, because there wasn't a lack of communication, because they were so open with each other. The middle almost felt a little bit redundant. It was kind of mostly them just hooking up and their feelings growing for each other, but they were very open about it. And it was nice to see in a way, but it was a lot of smut, essentially, that we didn't necessarily need. So I do feel like the middle could have been cut out a little bit. Maybe 40 or 50 pages could have been cut out of this. However, I really liked how it resolved. There was a kind of like almost push on Russ's behalf for a third act breakup. However, Rory was having none of it with the communication that they've got nailed down. She was like, listen, I am here for you. I am here to talk to you. I have no judgments with you, blah, blah, blah. And he's like, just leave it, just go, blah, blah, blah. And she, you know, they worked it out. And I was glad that there wasn't a third act breakup, because it would have seemed silly on the basis that they had communication nailed down. So yeah, 4 stars for this one. I had a good time. 4 hours and 23 minutes. For this one. So I do still have a lot of time left. I can't believe I keep doing this. I've got 19 hours and 37 minutes left on the clock. So I need to get shifting with this. My TBR has changed. I'm not 100% nailed down on what I'm doing yet, but I am going to move on to The Summer Hikaru Died, Volume 1. I want to see if I enjoy this enough that I can then maybe get a couple more volumes for Summerween in July. But I'm going to move on to this one. This one says it has Hikaru's face, it has Hikaru's voice, it even has Hikaru's memories. But whatever came down from the mountain 6 months ago isn't Yoshiki's best friend. Whatever it is, it's dangerous. Carrying on at school and hanging out as if nothing has changed, as if Hikaru isn't gone, would be crazy. But when it looks so very like Hikaru and acts so very like Hikaru. That's it. That's all it says. Interesting. So maybe Hikaru died on the mountain and something else has come back down in his body or something. I don't know. But this is supposed to be like a horror romance type manga. It's queer, so I'm interested to see where this goes. And I am going to be using a Daisy and Bee golden oldie with our floaty bookmark. And then I have another poll on, because I'm not 100% certain I'm going to read Beautiful Ugly. I may do, but my TBR is changing. I'm in very much so mood reading mode. I think it's since 30 books in 30 days. So I'm just going with the flow. I currently have Zodiac Academy 4, Shadow Princess, versus Dungeon Crawler Carl up on my poll. So there's 34 minutes left of that poll, and so far Zodiac Academy 4 is winning. So I'm going to get through Hikaru, and then I will come back to you with the results of Zodiac Academy and Dungeon Crawler Carl. Dungeon Crawler Carl seems very random, but I'm on with Gav and he's been chatting about it, and now I'm like, ooh, Dungeon Crawler Carl, that sounds great. But I also feel like I should be picking up Zodiac Academy 4. While I've got the chance to do so and I'm in the mindset for it, I should probably be picking that up. So we'll see what happens with that. Currently on 17 votes, 10 votes for Zodiac, 7 votes for Dungeon, so we'll see what happens. So I'll come back, give you an update on that and let you know my full thoughts on Hikaru. Okay, hello. It is much later again. It's 5:09, 10 past 5. We have, let me show you, 18 hours and 12 minutes left on the clock. This is not going the way I thought it would. Yet again, who the fuck is surprised? Okay, so I did finish The Summer Hikaru Died. I've given this one 3 stars. This was really bizarre, but I'm very intrigued. It gives the vibes of Junji Ito with the weird illustrations and the weirdness going on. Incredibly atmospheric, very bizarre. Currently in the process of buying the next 4 volumes off of Sci-Fi, so I have them for Summerween. But it was good. I liked it. Very weird. Hikaru had gone up a mountain, and a month later, I think it was, when he came back down, he was very, very different. And he has revealed to his best friend, I think it's the boy that he's in love with, that he is not Hikaru. And it's just a little bit strange. So I liked it though. I gave it 4 stars. I don't feel like I fully know what's going on, but that's what the rest of the series will be for. So I will continue on with that. I had a good time. And then that only took me 38 minutes to get through. And then I did pick up, I showed you the results of the poll in Patreon Discord, and I did pick up Zodiac Academy Shadow Princess, which is book 4 in this series. Now, I decided to just move on with this and then I would come and give you an update 100 pages in. But what's happened is I am now 75 pages in, and essentially when I did my massive unhaul earlier on this year, I ummed and ahed about getting rid of this whole series because I hadn't touched it in probably well over a year. I binged the first 3 books in the series, and then I went back to the first series. Well, not the first series, this is the first series, but the series that comes before this, that's 5 years before. There's a series 5 years before, which I think is the Ruthless Boys series, and there's a series 5 years after, which is Dartmoor Penitentiary series. And there was a reading order that I found. You read the first 3, books 1, 2 and 3, any novellas in between, and then you go on to book 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5, I think, before you in the series that comes 5 years before, and then you come back to book 4, and then you do some fucking around with Dartmoor Penitentiary. I think that was the order. Anyway, I did that. I went to the series that's set 5 years before, and I read book 1 in that series, and I didn't like it. And then I just stopped with this whole world, the Solaria world. And now this is on my 12 books from 12 friends. But now I was like, okay, let's give this another chance. When I was going through the whole unhaul business, and I was like, no, let's give it another chance. It's on my 12 books from 12 friends. I want to at least try it. But if it's not working for me, I'm not going to waste any more time on it, and I will unhaul the whole lot. This book is 760 pages long. Book 5 is even longer. Book 7 is over 1,000 pages long. And I'm 75 pages into this, and I just don't care anymore. I do not care. I don't know what to tell you. When I first started this series, I think I was really in that moment getting into romantasy a lot more. And this has got crack in the pages. It's not particularly well written, but it's got crack in the pages. It's very addictive, and you can binge through these books very quickly despite their size. However, I have since read a whole bunch more quality romanticy, in my personal opinion, in my quality romanticy that just doesn't even compare with this. And now that I'm picking this up, I just don't really care anymore. And my thought process is that I do not want to continue on with this and commit myself not only to 760 pages here, but like at least 800 if not 900 pages in the next book, and then the book after that, and then book 7's over 1,000 pages. It's just a huge commitment and I just don't want to do it anymore. So it is a huge shame, but I am DNFing Zodiac Academy 4, Shadow Princess, and I'm also DNFing the whole series. If at some point down the line I want to come back to them, they're on Kindle Unlimited. I've no doubt I can come back to them at some point. I just don't care. And I want to get them off my shelves. They take up so much room as well because they're so big. But I'm going to unhaul it. I'm sorry to the Zodiac Academy fans out there. I loved the first 3. I really, really did. But I've had some time away now and now I'm coming back. I'm just not bothered anymore. I don't really care to continue. So it is a shame, but it is what it is, unfortunately. So I am putting that one down and we are on 18 hours, 12 seconds. 18 hours, 12 minutes. Fucking struggle. That did take me 47 minutes to get to that point. I'm making notes of these. 47 minutes to get to that point. I have then just decided with Gav and all of our patrons what to pick up next. I was having a look through what's actually on I could have gone for Dungeon Crawler Cal, but I want something that I'm guaranteed I'm going to like. I do think I will like that. But I also had a quick look at what's actually on my TBR, albeit this isn't officially on my TBR. I do need a classic for the month, and I'm actually going to go for Jurassic Park by Michael Crichton because I feel like this will be a good shout for now. So I'm going to give this one a read. I've been meaning to pick this up for so long, and I'm so glad I'm finally doing it. So if you don't know what this is about, on a remote jungle island, genetic engineers have created a dinosaur game pack. Now one of mankind's most thrilling fantasies has come true. Creatures that have been extinct for millions of years roam Jurassic Park and all the world can visit them for a price. But when a catastrophe destroys the park's defence system, what was once a scientific dream becomes a living nightmare. Now scientists and tourists alike are left fighting for their lives. Dun, dun, dun. If you've seen the movies, you'll know what this is about. If you haven't, you might still know what this is about. But this is going to be my classic for the month. It does look chunky, but the text in here is quite large. And there are some like illustrations and stuff, a little bit, tables and shit like that. So I think it will be, naturally I can't find one to show you. So I think it will be quite a quick, fast-paced read. I was just saying to Gav, like, it's not too scientific, is it? And he said, no, it goes into science a little bit more, but it's not overly scientific. So yeah, I'm going to give this one a read. I feel like this one will be a good shout. So let's continue on. I really need to get motoring with this readathon because I'm slacking here massively and I'm going to end up with way too many hours left over tomorrow. I'm definitely going to have to get up with Andy tomorrow at 5:30. So yeah, let's get going, shall we? Good morning. It is 6:48 on Tuesday morning. Not as early as I hoped it would be, but I didn't go to bed last night till about 2 o'clock. So I've been up since 6:15. I've had about 4 hours sleep if I'm lucky. So I'm absolutely shattered. We're going to ease into today a little bit. I do still have 15 hours and 46 minutes on the clock. Me and Andy ended up watching The Greatest Showman with tea last night, which promptly left us finishing watching that movie before he then went to bed and I could continue on with reading. And I was yapping with Gav, having a catch up for a little bit because I've not seen him for ages. So after sprints. So from the hours of like 6 p.m, right through till about 10:15, I didn't read a thing. So we've got a long ass day today. I am reading Jurassic Park and I'm currently on page 173. I didn't even realise I'd gotten that far. Progress has been made on this. I'm enjoying it. I'm having a good time. It is a lot more scientific than I thought it was going to be, but we're getting into the grips of the actual story now. Like we're on Nebula Island. Nebula. We're on Nebula Island now and the kids have turned up. Turns out that she's younger than Timmy, so that's interesting. Lex is younger than Timmy. But yeah, it's going well so far and I'm having a good time. However, I am still quite tired and I need to wake up a little bit. So I am going to put this down for now and I will come back to it a little bit later on. I actually don't think I'll leave it as long as I was anticipating I might do. So what I have done is brought down a collection of other stuff for me to dip in and out of. So I've brought down Semantic Error, episode volume 1, not episode 1, volume 1, which was sent to me by IZU Press. Thank you to them for sending me this. It just looks fun and good. I don't know if it's fun or not, but volume 2 is out now, so I'm interested in seeing whether or not this is something that I want to continue with. So I brought that down. I did bring down the 3 volumes of my Love Story, The Amadicon at level 999 that I currently own. So I've got unread. I've got volume 3, volume 4, and volume 5. So I could read 1 or 2 or 3 of those. And then I also brought down a romance as well, and I brought down When in Rome by Sarah Adams. This is like Abby says it's like a modern take on Audrey Hepburn's classic, The Roman Holiday, which I love that movie. So this could be fun, and I do want to read Practice Makes Perfect, but I feel like I definitely need to read this one before that one. So I feel like this could be a fun, silly, goofy time. But what I'm actually thinking is to read a volume or 2 of manga and then go back to Jurassic Park and finish that and then see where I'm up to. I'm definitely going to be able to fit this in, but I don't know how many other volumes of manga I'm going to be able to fit in, and I may end up leaving a few hours left on the clock. Right now, if I was to start this clock right now and run it until the end of the day, until it runs out, that's 10:30 p.m. I will obviously stop for tea when Andy gets home from work. We may watch a bit of telly. So I don't think I'm going to get this timer challenge finished 100%. That's on me for not getting up early enough yesterday. But I'm going to do my damnedest. I do have patron sprints from 11 today, but I will be finishing about 4-ish because that's when Gav starts his patron sprints and I don't like to cross over with him. But it's nice just to get a couple of hours in with them today. So I will just get a handful of hours in with them and I will do my best to be militant with my time today, 55.5. So yeah, we better get on with it. I think I might do Semantic Error actually. Let me tell you what this is about. Reason, routine and rules. These are the 10 tenets that computer scientist major Sang-Woo Chu lives by. So when the rest of his teammates fail to contribute to their group presentation, he cuts their names from the project, including that of a complete no-show whose plans to graduate and study abroad have gone down the drain as a result. Not that any of that's Sang-Woo's business until he realises that Jae-young Jang, talented design major he was hoping to hire for his video game, is 1, that very same classmate, and 2, hell-bent on returning the favour and being the biggest thorn in his side. Will Sang-Woo be able to debug this semantic error before it upends his entire life? That is entirely not what I thought it was going to be, but interesting. Very handsome. Let's see how this goes, shall we?
Another rainy afternoon, I don't know what I'm to do. I just miss you more than anything. It's way too quiet in the house. I'm just waiting.
Okay, hello. It is 12 minutes past 8 and I'm an idiot. I started the timer while I was in the kitchen and was starting Semantic Error and then made the decision to come over to the couch, so I paused the timer. I forgot to restart it. So we have a situation here where the timer's still telling me I've got 15 hours and 45 minutes left. I'm actually going to delete this timer and reset one for 15 hours. It took me about 45 minutes to get through this, which I'll tell you about in a second. But so I'm not confused with how the timer's going and it's still accurate-ish. I want to reset the timer. So I'm going to delete this timer and reset another one for 15 hours instead. Let's just press start on that. There we go. And then I'll pause it. I feel better now. Okay. Fucking idiot. Right. Semantic Error, Volume 1. I quite like this. This was good. Everything that happens in the synopsis kind of happens at the beginning. We have our main character, Sang-woo, who basically does his presentation and credits only himself. He has a conversation with one of the tutors who questions him about it, and he's like, well, one of them didn't send me over the info that she said she was going to send over, so I had to do that myself. One of them, the presenter didn't show, and then one of the other ones didn't even show to any of the classes, never mind doing the presentation itself. So the teacher's like, okay, fair enough, that's fine. So everyone else failed that one, and one of the students actually failed graduating, who was supposed to be going international travel the following year. That student is actually a student that then Sang-woo wanted to have design the game that he wants to work on for the following semester. And that student is Jae-young. And Jae-young then suddenly realises who Sang-woo is, starts to terrorise him a little bit, and then things kind of slow down a little bit by the end of this volume. I don't know if this is going to become a male-male romance or something, I'm not sure. Volume 2 is now out, and Volume 3 is coming out in August in the UK. So I'm intrigued to continue on with this, again, because it's a manhwa and it is in colour, it's not cheap. But I did like the illustrations and stuff, and I thought it was quite good. I thought it would be more on the computer and gaming side of things, but this volume isn't. I don't know if it will move into that a little bit more as the series continues, but I enjoyed this. I think I'm going to give this one 4 stars. I had a good time. So thank you to IZE Press for sending me this one. I truly appreciate it. I think I was nodding off a little bit, and I actually debated whether or not to go back to bed, but I'm not going to do that. I am going to move on and read a volume of my love story with Yamada-kun at level 999. I'm going to read volume 3, see how this goes, and then I might go back to Jurassic Park. I do need to wake up a little bit, but we'll see how this goes. So this series is following Akane, and in volume 1 her boyfriend breaks up with her. Now her boyfriend is a gamer, and she wants to try and stay close to him, so she ends up learning how to play this online game, and then goes to a convention, a gaming convention, and sees her ex there with a new girl. But she ends up kind of bumping into someone else there who is Yamada, and she ends up kind of making friends with him. Now, he's a little bit of a loner. I don't think he particularly wants to be friends with Akane, but regardless, he's kind of thrown into this friendship with her, but she's kind of falling for him as well. So it's a fun, silly, goofy little time, and I'm enjoying it. So I'm excited that I've got like 3 volumes I can binge now. I don't know how long this series is going to be, but the covers are always so pretty as well. Like the colour scheme's really nice. So yeah, I'm going to read this one, and then I'll probably try and get back to Jurassic Park. I don't think I'll get the chance to finish that before sprints. No, I won't, because sprints will be in about less than 3 hours. And I have 3 hours and 52 minutes left on Jurassic Park. But I'll finish this, and then I will get back to Jurassic Park, I think. I may update you just later on this afternoon, maybe before sprints are starting, letting you know how far, my thoughts on this and how far through Jurassic Park I've gotten. But yeah, I am going to continue on. Okay, hello. Some time has gone by. It is 2:10 in the afternoon, and I currently have 10 hours, 26 minutes left on the timer. And there's no way I'm getting through all of these today, not a chance. So I'm just going to do the best that I possibly can and see how far we can get. I Finished My Love Story with Yamada-kun Volume 3, which I did give 3.5 stars. I enjoyed this. I do like these little palette cleansers. Like, I don't love it, the story, but I do enjoy it for a good palette cleanser. It's nice just to read in between some other bits. So I did read Volume 3, and then I have just finished Jurassic Park by Michael Crichton. This is one of those rare moments for me where I preferred the movie. It's not very often that happens for me. I will be honest and say that the Jurassic Park and Jurassic World movies as a whole are some of my favourite comfort movies, and I have watched both of them, both sagas, but Jurassic Park mostly, probably an embarrassingly amount of times. I love those movies. I am obsessed with them, and I know them inside out, especially the first one. The second one, I always forget what happens until I'm actually watching it, but the first one, I love it so much. So I went into this pretty confident that I was actually going to love it, and it was going to be a minimum of 4 stars, but probably a 5-star. I'm actually giving it 3.5, and I'm a little bit gutted about it, I'm not going to lie. For the most part, honestly, I felt really slumpy reading this, and I'm now at a point in this reading challenge where I have no idea what to pick up. Now, this could be because I'm coming off of the back of 30 books in 30 days. It could be because of this. I feel like this challenge as a whole has been a little bit messy this time round. I started off with a TBR that I've deviated from, and then I told you that I was probably going to go into When in Rome by Sarah Adams after this. I'm now deviating from that. So I feel like in general, I'm being a little bit messy right now, and I think it's because I'm in mood read mode. So, you know, you'll just have to, I don't know, my apologies for the confusion. But this as a whole, I feel like has put me on the edge of a slump, and I really need to rein it back in. I think that the beginning especially of this, but throughout as well sometimes, was incredibly technical. It was very technical on the science side of things, and it's just not what I was necessarily looking for, and I did lose my way a little bit with it. I just got to a point where I didn't really care about the technical side of things. Once we were on the island and things started to go to shit for everybody, I then started to get into it a little bit more. We were then into like the movie side of it, things that had happened in the movie. I do think there was a scene or two in this that would have been nice to see in the movie, played out in the movie, and they were cut out. Obviously they can't add everything. This is a long book, so... But overall, I'm giving it 3.5 stars. I don't know if I would go on to read The Lost World, which is the second book in the series. I don't know if I'm that bothered, to be perfectly honest. I've seen the movie. I'm not that fussed, but I'm glad I've read it though. This is my classic for the month ticked off. I am glad I've read it. I'm just gutted it wasn't more than a 3.5 star for me. It's just put me in a little bit of a slump, and it was very mentally draining as well. So yeah, it's done now. It is what it is. 3.5 stars for that one. So what I'm going to do now is I'm actually going to try a couple audiobooks, I think, and make a decision on what to do. I think the 3, I'm kind of in the mood for romantasy, but I'm also not 100% set on that. And I'm trying to find, because the series that I'm in the middle of at the moment, the romantasy series that I've already started, all of them, are all continuing series. None of them are complete. And I feel like I'm Oh, Belladonna's complete, actually. I feel like I'm in a moment of I could binge something. You know, if I read something today that I really enjoyed, I could happily binge the rest of the series for the month. That's the mood that I'm in. So if I'm going to read a romantasy today, I want it to be for a complete series. So my thought process is... I have a couple that I could do that are the first in complete series. So the first one is Trials of the Sun Queen by Nisha J. Tooley. This is on my Our Fantasy TBR as well. And it is a Trials one, I think, if I remember correctly. So I'm interested in this one. I also have Queen of Roses by Briar Bolin. I just recently got the Dragon one from her, and that's not a complete series yet. So I wanted to read this series first. This is her debut book, and it's the first in a quartet. So I did want to try this one first, and I think it's like an Arthurian legend type of book. I don't know anything else other than that. I think it might be fae. And then the other book is a completely out of left field, and it is Dungeon Crawler Cal. Entirely out of left field, not romantasy in the slightest, but this is kind of like gonna be my backup. If I'm not feeling either of the two romantasies, then I think I will try this one. I am just having a quick look now to see how long Belladonna is, that maybe I could reread that and continue on with that series maybe, because that is a complete one and I own them all as well. I don't know. No. Okay, so we're going to do a chapter. How long is the first chapter in here? 14 pages of this, and then a chapter of Queen of Roses. And if neither of those are sticking, I will read Dungeon Crawler Cal, or at least I'll try Dungeon Crawler Cal, and we'll see how that goes. So that is what I'm going to end up doing. We'll see how this goes. You never know. I might read the first chapter of this and immediately be hooked and be like, okay, that's it. That's what I'm going to read. So yeah. Let's see how this goes, shall we? I will report back and let you know what I've decided to pick up. Okay, I have come to a decision. It took a while. I did try the first chapter of Trial of the Sun Queen and also Queen of Roses. Neither of those are speaking to me right now. I am super duper struggling. I didn't try Dungeon Crawler Cal, actually. I then made the decision that maybe I was going to try rereading the Mindfuck series by S.T. Abbey. And I got a couple chapters into that. And then suddenly realised that I don't think I want to reread something as much as I love that series. And I do at some point want to reread it. I'm not in the mood right now. But I want something of that vibe, like Lights Out by Nevessa Allen or Butcher and Blackbird. So on the discussion of Butcher and Blackbird, I have decided to pick up Leather and Lark by Bryn Weaver. I haven't read this one yet, and I have the third one as well, so I would like to continue on with this series because I loved the first one. I thought it was fantastic. So I am intrigued to give this one a read. This is following Lachlan, who is the main character from the first book's brother. So the synopsis of this one is: every killer claims a soul, every phantom wants revenge. All contract killer Lachlan Kane wants is a quiet life, but when he botches a job for his boss, Lachlan knows he'll never claw his way out of the underworld, at least not until Lark Montague offers him a deal. The catch, he has to marry her, and they can't stand each other. Lark may seem like sunshine personified, but she has her own secrets hiding in the shadows. With her family in a tailspin and her best friend's happiness on the line, she makes a vow to a man she's determined to hate, no matter how tempting the breeding assassin may be. But it's not just familiar dangers that haunt them. There's another phantom lurking on the doorstep, and this one has come for blood. It sounds really good, and I did love the first one in this series. So I'm intrigued. We'll see what happens with this. Hopefully I will be able to settle on this one. I did start Direbound, actually, by Sable Sorensen, which I bought a while ago, and I do really want to read this one. I am kind of in the mood for this, I've got to be honest, but it's a physical read, and this is over 600 pages long. No, it's not. It's not quite 600 pages. 580 pages. I just don't know if I'll be able to get through it in the time that I have left. It's currently 3:20, and I've got 9 hours and 47 minutes left on this timer, but there's a fairly good chance that I'm going to end up leaving some hours left over. It won't be quite 24-hour timer challenge because I will run out of time today to do it. So obviously I'll be having tea with Andy at some point, and we may watch some TV once he's home from work. I don't know. So I need to be strategic about what I'm doing. I would love to pick that up, but it will end up just then running into another vlog, which I don't really want to do. Whatever I pick up now, I want to wrap up. So if I get this wrapped up early enough and I still have some time on the clock and then I've got some time this evening to do some more reading, I'll pick up some manga. I think that's what I'll end up doing. So let's give this a bash. I have downloaded the audiobook. It is duet narration, and the guy that is doing Lachlan's narration is Irish, which is very exciting. So let's get on with this one, shall we? I'm reading Leather and Lark. We've just had a chapter with the Phantom, whoever the hell that is. What in the tea bag from Prison Break is going on here? Why does this guy sound like Teabag? Anybody watch Prison Break? Let me show a picture of Teabag here. He sounds just like him. The fuck is going on? I'm really enjoying this so far. I'm really enjoying Lachlan and Lark already and what's gone on with both of them. Basically, about a year ago, Lark found herself in a situation where she needed a cleanup crew, and Lachlan turned up. He had a mask on his face, with a second guy called Connor, also had a mask on his face, and he was super rude to her, and it basically caused a lot of problems for his boss. And then a year later, he's just been introduced to Lark at Rowan's open night for the restaurant, Rowan being his brother, who is Butcher in the first book. Lark is Sloane's best friend, Sloane being Blackbird in the first book. And he's introduced to Lark at Rowan and Sloane's place. And it's only after they've had a moment that she suddenly realises who he is. Shit's about to go down. And then we've had a chapter with the Phantom. I don't know who this person is, other than Teabag, and what association they've got with what's going on here. I don't know if this is like a stalking element to it, but on the basis that I've already put a face to this person, if it is a stalking element, I don't think I'm going to struggle too hard with it. I'm imagining Teabag. So, I mean, he was a creep. He was a creep. If you've watched Prison Break, Teabag was a creep. I did not like him as a character at all, but it will just make it just funny, to be fair, to have him, to be imagining him as Phantom in this. So yeah, I just wanted to come on and say that I'm picturing the Phantom as Teabag. Don't know if anybody cares, but yeah, I'm still going strong with this. I don't know how this is going to go. I'm on page 61. My aim is to still finish this today, but I'm still going to have about 5 hours left on the timer, and I don't know what I'm going to do with that 5 hours. I could run into tomorrow morning a little bit if I got up with Andy again in the morning and then did some reading before I went to work, but I would like to get back to my other vlog. Really wanted this to be done in 2 days, so I don't know. If Andy's knackered, he will have his tea and go straight to bed, but we'll have to see what happens. Maybe I'll just pick up a couple manga later, try and do a couple more hours later. We'll see. But I'm just going to continue on with this, try and get as much of it done before Andy gets home from work. So let's do that. Okay, hey, good morning. It is now Wednesday, and regardless of how long is left on the timer, because there is still a lot, I am ending the challenge here because I'm not bleeding into today. I wanted to try and do it in 2 days. This timer challenge was more of a challenge for me to try and complete this in 2 days than it was for me to actually do the 24-hour timer challenge. I do have 4 hours and 34 minutes left on the timer. So this ended up being like 19 hours, 20 odd minutes timer challenge instead. I'll tell you what, though, I actually read quite a bit and I'm pretty proud of myself, I'm not going to lie. So, I did read 2 more books yesterday once I finished Jurassic Park. I did move on to Leather and Lark, as I told you I was going to, by Bryn Weaver, which is the second book in the Ruinous Love trilogy. I'm so glad I picked this up. This was like right book, right time. It's exactly what I needed after Jurassic Park. And I had a really, really good time with this one. I actually loved Lachlan and also Lark. I thought they were so sweet together. And I loved that although there was singing in this, because Lark is a singer, there wasn't like a massive focus on singing being her career. It wasn't until like it was mentioned that she was singing at some point. I know I'd read it in the synopsis, but it wasn't until I mentioned that she was a singer at some point that it was like very briefly mentioned after she'd been humming a tune or something. And I was like, oh my God, I completely forgot that she's actually a singer. This is hilarious, very dark, as was Butcher and Blackbird, but it was so funny. I actually really, really loved this one because we start off as, oh, it's funny how it happens because an incident happens between Lark and Lachlan at the beginning, but they don't know each other. So when they then officially meet each other for the first time as Rowan's brother and Sloane's best friend, they don't remember each other from this incident. They don't recognize each other at all. So then they have a moment, and then very quickly she realizes who he is. And it's so funny. And we have kind of like time jumps at the beginning. We jump through like, I think 2 or 3 years very quickly. And then when we get to a point where they, have this fake marriage so that she can protect Sloane and Rowan and also her family, but it's also protecting Lachlan, and it all kind of becomes more of a thing. I really loved it. I just really enjoyed it. I really enjoy the way that Lachlan finds out about her extracurricular activities. I was chuckling all the way through this. I gave it 4.5 stars. The audiobook was fantastic. I'm very excited to pick up Scythe and Sparrow now, and I may try and squeeze it in for Final Book Support Group because I'm very much so in the mood for it. Like, I wanted to pick it straight up after this. I am currently filming a mood reading vlog, so there is potential for me to pick it up during that, but I gave this 4.5 stars. It was very good. And then last night in bed, once I'd finished that, because Andy was watching Moulin Rouge, it's his favourite movie of all time. He was watching Moulin Rouge in bed last night. No, he wasn't. He was watching it downstairs. He put it on during tea, and I said to him, look, I cannot get caught up with another movie again. I had 6 hours and 21 minutes left on the timer, and I needed to finish Leather and Lark. So I went to bed, and I did decide to pick up another manga, and this time I went for A Cat from Our World and The Forgotten Witch, Volume 1. I wanted to try this before I get some more volumes. It was interesting. It's following Jean, who in her youth was a powerful witch who vanquished the evil demon king and saved the world. But over time, the people she rescued have forgotten her. So despite the fact there is a statue in town of her when she was younger, 50 years have gone by and obviously she's grown older. This is Jean now. And the people have forgotten her. They call her a witch when she comes into town. She gets abused, you know what I mean? Now she's a lonely old woman living in a secluded forest until she accidentally summons a cat from Earth to her home. The former city kitty is now gigantic and must acclimate to this new world. Can a cat from another world soothe the loneliness of the forgotten witch? So she's accidentally summoned this cat, but it's supposed to be an animal that kind of like helps look after her, helps her around the house, things like that. This cat is just a normal city kitty, very lazy, just wants to sleep all day, breaks her bed. But this cat is massive. So this is what the size of the people in this town look like. This is the size of a normal cat. So the people are smaller, but it just appears that the cat's obviously the issue here. So yeah, it was very sweet and I did enjoy this. It was good. I haven't run it through Corpal yet, but I reckon it's going to get like a 3.5 stars. This could be like a filler manga series like My Love Story with Yamadakun at level 999. Not something that I'm obsessed with, but it's a really good palate cleanser and a nice filler. It's really sweet. I definitely want to continue on with this. But yeah, I had a good time with this one. So overall, I actually managed, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31, 32, 33, 34, 35, 36, 37, 38, 39, 40, 41, 42, 43, 44, 45, 46, 47, 48, 49, 50, 51, 52, 53, 54, 55, 56, 57, 58, 59, 60, 61, 62, 63, 64, 65, 66, 67, 68, 69, 70, 71, 72, 73, 74, 75, 76, 77, 78, 79, 80, 81, 82, 83, 84, 85, 86, 87, 88, 89, 90, 91, 92, 93, 94, 95, 96, 97, 98, 99, 100, 101, 102, 103, 104, 105, 106, 107, 108, 109, 110, 111, 112, 113, 114, 115, 116, 117, 7 books, which I think it might be the first time I've done that. Now, I know there's quite a bit of manga here, but I have read 3 full novels as well. So very quickly to run through what I actually did read in this video, I read Wildfire, started off with this by Hannah Grace, continuation station, which is very good. I'm now up to the final book, which I'm saving for June. I'm going to be buddy reading with a friend of mine. I gave this one 4.5 stars. No, I didn't. What did I give this? 4 stars. Then I did read The Summer Hikaru Died, Volume 1, which again, really enjoyed. Very excited to continue on with the series. Have bought the next 4 volumes. I gave this one 4 stars. I read Semantic Error Volume 1. Did really like this one. Thank you again to IZE Press for sending me a copy of this. And I gave this one 4 stars. Will continue on with the series. Volume 2 is out. Volume 3 comes out later on this year. I did read My Love Story with Yamada-kun at level 999 at volume 3, which I gave 3.5 stars. Had a good time, will continue. I read Jurassic Park by Michael Crichton for my classic for the month. And I'm glad that I did read this one, but I did give it 3.5 stars. I didn't love it. It put me in a little bit of a slump for, you know, a couple of minutes. It did. I was feeling slumpy through the majority of this. And then when I came out on the other side, I struggled really hard to know what to read. I tried like 4 different books. I even tried to reread a series. But yeah, 3.5 stars for this one. Then I did eventually settle on Leather and Lark, which is a great shout by Bryn Weaver. And as I say, 4.5 stars for this one. And then A Cat from the Other World and the Forgotten Witch, Volume 1, which I gave 3.5 stars. So yeah, I don't think that was too shabby overall. And considering I still got 4 hours and 34 minutes left on the timer, I could finish another book, but I'm not going to. So I did do all of this in the space of like 19 hours, which I don't think I can complain about too badly, really. I am coming off the back of 30 books in 30 days as well, so that clearly doesn't help with my mood either, because that was a lot. And in that last vlog, that cramming vlog, I read 9 books in 7 days, so again, that was also a lot. So yeah, but I had a good time with this. I will, next time I do one of these, I will do my very best to actually complete the 24 hours within 48. Essentially, that's what the challenge is, 24 in 48, but I just call it a 24-hour timer challenge. But yeah, I will do my very best to complete it in the 48 hours that I give myself. I don't know why this keeps happening to me. I used to be able to smash these out. I used to get up with Andy at 5:30 in the morning. I'd be sat on my desk ready to go for 6 o'clock. And then I would smash my 12 hours out the first day. Sometimes even go over. So I only had like maybe 11 hours the next day. And then I'd smash that out the next day and I'd be fine. But I just can't get up with him anymore. It's a struggle. Anyway, I hope you have enjoyed this video. Shout out to me in the comments down below. Have you done one of these before, a 24-hour timer challenge? How did you find it? Have you read any of the books that I have read? What did you think? I hope you have enjoyed this video, and I will see you in whatever comes next. Bye for now.